Well, Mystic Vic came together because two of the other members of the band, Scott Blackwell and Tom Brawl, and I were close friends all the way from our freshman year in college.
Tom, the drummer, and Larry, the bass player, and I have known each other since 1971. Tom and I were put together in the dorm. We didn't know each other at SMU.
Scott had been playing through college and moved to New Mexico and formed a band in New Mexico.
And I started playing in a band around 1985, something like this, with Jack. It was a group called Dr. Blues.
The guitar player who was originally in that band left and Scott Blackwell came.
They were in another band at the time, and or Scott was in another band at the time, and we wanted to play music together.
Jack and I left Dr. Blues around the end of the later part of the 80s to put together our little, combo. And Tom, who hadn't played drums since high school, got a drum set and started playing.
The two of them started bugging me about, taking up playing the drums again. So I was coerced into doing that. And got a used set, actually got a rental set to see if I still had any of my chops. And I realized that none of it had really gone away, and we, the three of us, started forming what was to become Mystic Vic.
Chaz Jetty, who's one of our guitarists, joined us a number of years later.
When I first moved to Albuquerque, I was looking for people to play with. Larry invited me to a 4th of July party where they were going to be playing and asked me to sit in and jam, and I've been playing with them ever since.
We're going to play some blues and rock and roll. There's a nice dance floor out here, so make yourselves at home and sit back and enjoy the music.
I've loved music my whole life. When I was a kid, as early as I can remember, I sang in choirs, always had music at home. I love music. It's just kind of resonates with me. So I actually learned to play the harmonica listening to blues songs. I'd put on an album and I'd futz around until I found a key that worked with a particular song.
I started playing music when I was like about 8. I started taking lessons on the guitar when I was about 8 years old. I took classical at first, got involved in early rock music and then some jazz. I've always been fond of the blues. When I was real young, and I initially wanted to play the piano, and we couldn't afford one. And I remember sitting around the kitchen table, and my dad said, "So, don't you want to play the guitar?" And I said, "No, I don't want to play the guitar." And he says, "Don't you want to be like Elvis Presley?" And I went, "Yes, I do. I want to be like Elvis Presley."
I started playing music when I was 13, and I was probably in my first band at 13 or 14. I think I was drawn to blues music, the kind that we play, first of all because it's great stories about life, but also in the context of good, driving, rock-type blues beat.
Just for a highway, just for a highway, always something going down.
I got my first guitar when I was about 13. I took a few lessons. The guitar teacher told my mom she was wasting her money. And then from that point on, I just started playing it.
I've been trying all my life to talk to
Played a lot of folk music, and then I played a lot of rock and kind of hard rock, and sort of discovered blues through discovering the hard rock roots, which was based in blues. So I just sort of came at it roundabout way.
I started when I was a kid, was taking piano lessons and really wasn't getting into piano, and bugged my mom and dad about buying me a drum set. Rhythm stuff always kind of turned me on. I think I was about 11, 12 years old. Took lessons and did the concert band thing with high school and the jazz band thing with high school, and then went away to college and completely hung the whole thing up and didn't really play at all through college.
What I do in the other part of my life to make a living is I practice law. I'm a real estate lawyer. It's sort of the way my brain works in the practice of law and the way my brain works in playing music are like two different worlds. It's left brain and right brain, and it's lots of fun because it brings out different aspects of the person when you do these very different activities.
So my career is I'm a clinical psychologist, specialize in children, adolescent, family work. I consult with a lot of programs, school programs and stuff like that. When I'm not playing music, when I'm not being a psychologist, my other avocation is scuba diving. We try to go scuba diving in Bonaire as much as possible.
Well, I love to travel, love to hike, love the outdoors, love going to national parks. And then recently I've sort of rediscovered astronomy. I've been sort of pursuing that as another nighttime hobby.
And I've been a photographer for 30 years. The place that you're sitting here right now was a house that used to be here. It burned down a few years back, about 7 years ago. But I had my studio in the house that burnt down, so I lost 90% of my stock that I've been doing for various publications, that kind of thing. I'm still a photographer. I feel totally blessed to have moved past a lot of tragedy in my life. My career is fabulous at this point, although it's varied. I don't go out every day shooting.
My career is a lawyer, and other than that, I love to play golf.
We've just hung in for all these years. I don't even want to count how many years we're talking about there. It's kind of insane.